This is beautiful. The right for lawful assembly. The right to protest. That's American to its core. Mic check. How are the levels? 1, 2, unique New York. On May 2nd, 2022, Politico published a leaked draft of a Supreme Court justice opinion in which Justice Alito intends to overturn Roe v. Wade, a landmark case set in 1973.
On May 7th, just 5 days after the leak, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, PSL, organized a protest to defend the legality of abortion. We intended to document this event. Nothing that we recorded necessarily reflects the views of the Let's Have a Drink crew. We did our best to remain objective.
Everyone, my name is Cam.
My name is Maxwell Ryan.
We are here off of 4th and Lomas in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right at the Bernalillo County Courthouse. There is a protest occurring here. What is it against, Max? Tell me what's it against.
It's against overturning Roe v. Wade.
This protest was organized by the Party of Socialism and Liberation, also known as the PSL.
We here at the Comfy Couch Productions and the Let's Have a Drink podcast believe in being objective, truthful, and fair, but we also believe it's important for everybody to have a platform to speak on. We want to lift up their voices and make sure that they're heard. Thank you. I'm here with Charles. Hi there, Charles. Why do you think Justice Alito wants to overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, I think he and his other conservative buddies have long wanted to take us back. They want to be able to control things. Controlling women has been a long practice. We have made some progress, and Roe v. Wade was a part of that progress. So they want to take us back. Voting rights, we had made advances in voting rights, and they're taking that back. I think we all have the same thing in common, and that is that we're under attack. The answer is to get Congress, the U.S. Congress, to codify, abortion. It's probably going to be a mobilizing force. That'll be, one of the first fights. We won't stop there. I'd warn Justice Alito and the others to watch out, that they're getting us wound up. I think this is going to be a mobilizing force.
The man in this white truck shouts KKK repeatedly at the crowd while filming them and us. We were unable to capture this audio.
I am here with
Eileen, Nakisa, Leo Rain. So I think because the country is very divided when it comes to the question of abortion, and now it's been the time of the year again where a lot of the Supreme Justices are voted by Republicans, so now they have a chance to actually overturn it. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're trying to do it right now.
I think for our system specifically, it's always oppressed people who are disadvantaged, and this is just another cherry on top of everything else. Women have lacked equal rights in pretty much everything for all of history. It's been the patriarchy and the system that has been putting all of us down, but now it's finally a chance for all of us to come out here and get together and, share our voices.
They're trying to go back to ways that they think are right but aren't, in a sense, spiritually connected to a person. It's nothing personal that they're doing. It's all a plan that they want, I feel like. So
if we lose our rights, there will be a big change in how everything's run. I mean, people always say we are the revolution, and we are. I mean, we're out here, we're protesting, we're marching for equal rights, and I feel like it's not going to stop. It's been going on for all of history, and it's not going to stop now just because if it is overturned.
Put some more thought into it. I don't think they're really thinking. They need to actually get personal, as I said. They need to think for that person. I get it. It's a baby. We all want these humans here, but there's so many more babies out there that need a home and love. And some people are suffering, so why bring more suffering to this world?
Not everyone has the same beliefs, and we have to make sure that everyone can practice their beliefs. We have to make sure, if
in other aspects of our health system, you can't use another person's body. You shouldn't with pregnancy either.
I mean, we're human bodies, we're people, we have a right to be safe and be healthy, and we shouldn't be deprived of those rights, regardless of anything.
Women will still have abortions, but without the legal access to qualified medical professionals.
Hey there, everybody. I'm here with David. How are you doing today, David?
I'm great, thank you.
Why do you think Justice Alito is trying to overturn Roe v. Wade in the first place?
Because powerful old white men want to control everybody. I just think we need to be careful about absolutely everything, every right that we have, everything that we believe in, because they are trying to dismantle, and I hate to use the word they, but certain politicians are trying to dismantle our democracy.
I noticed the shirt. How much of a role do you think religion is playing a part in the authorship of this proposal?
Unfortunately, I think there is a lot of sectors of the Christian religion who are behind this. Again, kind of the establishment that don't want things to change, that don't want things to move forward, that don't want other people to come in power. I am from a part of the Christian religion that believes everybody is exactly equal and we all deserve the same rights and the same chances as everyone else. You know, there are things, of course, that I would like to say. I would say, you know, I think you need to look into your heart and really think about what is right and not about what you think is going to give you more power or give people who can give you power doing their bidding.
No matter what side of the issue you're on, this is beautiful. The right for lawful assembly, the right to protest. That's American to its core. Look at this. No matter what you think, this is what America is about.
They're marching currently down Lomas. The cops are escorting them. People are hawking. People are kind of digging this right now. This protest is run and organized by the PSL, which we've already talked about. A local women's clinic objected, collaborating with the PSL in this protest, citing various controversies and opinions that the local organizers had. PSL as a whole has a lot of controversy around them. Various beliefs and who started it and whatnot, various controversies. The local women's clinic will be having a protest as well next Saturday on the 14th.
And we're gonna keep marching until we win! The Democratic Party to legalize abortion in all 50 states now!
The protest today is escorted by APD. There are 3 squad cars in the back, 2 in the front, and motorcycles all over the place. They're directing traffic and making sure no one interrupts this protest.
I am here with Joaquin.
My understanding is that the primary arguments are that specifically the Republican Party thinks that women seem to owe us more children. They seem to owe us babies. There's actually a line in the leaked report, I believe, that says that we need a domestic supply of babies or of children, and that if abortion is legal, then it could potentially interrupt that supply of babies that are most often adopted by rich white people. Should this go through, I think that we need to be prepared for a full-on attack on civil rights. I think Roe versus Wade was a huge step forward for women's rights, and it paved the way for a lot of LGBTQ rights, a lot of civil rights. And I think that if they are prepared to attack this, then we need to be prepared for them to attack a whole lot more.
Do you believe that religion is playing a part in Alito's decision, to propose this?
I'm not sure whether or not it is necessarily playing a role in their decision. I think that they are definitely characterizing their decision as if religion is playing a role, as if they care about a God-given right to life, but their actions and their policies elsewhere and towards other poor people who are not unborn babies seems like it contradicts that view. I mean, if they were listening, I would say that it's unconstitutional that 5 people could take away a right as unalienable as abortion, and I think that they should know that they're not going to get away with it.
A man near the white car shouts obscenities at the gathering protesters.
Hey there, everybody. I am here with Lily and Megan.
Hello.
Hello.
Why do you think Justice Alito wants to even overturn Roe versus Wade?
Honestly, because they're just misogynistic men.
I feel like this is an intersectional issue with classism and sexism and racism, and I feel like this is another choice in this fight against women that makes it so we can repopulate the working class and continue to be taking advantage of people in marginalized communities. I'm at a point where I'm so disappointed and where I'm like,
Ready to move countries.
I don't know what the next step is, but I don't have a lot of hope for the democracy where it stands right now. I don't know.
We need to overthrow them at that point.
How dare you deny the fact that women are human beings?
Especially if you're not a woman yourself. You don't have a choice if you're not a woman yourself.
Fairly typical example, a woman reported that she was violated by 3 different prison guards. She stated one guard raped her multiple times. She was forced to wait 3 years before prison officials responded. That's not okay!
In beautiful Old Town, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm here with Karen. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired. That was a long walk.
I came to this like keeping in mind some of more of the reasons for why abortions should remain legal. I think that's what I came prepared for in my mind. I mean, it's certainly not a good sign. I think that easily becomes related to other issues, as things that are more conservative pass, it can easily become the case that it continues in that way, in that pattern. I mean, there can be ebbs and flows, but it's obviously not a good sign.
Do you think there's a religious aspect to Alito proposing this?
I mean, I would assume that that's part of it. Usually people have multiple reasons for doing something, or in a way you would hope that they would. I don't know if that's just an argument or how deeply rooted that might be for them. If them and anybody who is against it can just imagine some of the worst case scenarios of someone wanting an abortion. So if someone was raped, if someone's life is at risk, that in those situations, it's really important to consider that that's something that probably should happen if that's something that person wants. And I know that people are trying to be moral about it, and I think that's where a lot of people are coming from, and that's great. But I think it's also important to understand a certain spectrum that's going on, so that the moment of conception, you I think can't actually fully believe, when you ask yourself honestly that killing something that's in early stages like that is the same as killing, a full-grown human being.
We interviewed some of the organizers at the end of the event. They declined to answer questions about why a local women's clinic rejected the offer to collaborate protests.
I'm here with Angelina, Cynthia, and Karina. Thank you all for taking the time to answer our questions.
As far as talking about Roe versus Wade, it's definitely an attack on women. We've seen this growing, attack on them. It's growing in different states as they continue to encroach on people's rights to abortion with these new laws. They say that they're not necessarily bans, but they pretty much are. So it's really just a war against women. It's about control over, what women can do, what the masses can do, and definitely, you see it all the time talking about people not having kids for any other reason. It's because they can't afford them and stuff like that. So yeah, the decision to overturn Roe is just basically an attack on women. It just shows he's anti-woman.
And I wouldn't necessarily say it's just like one Supreme Court justice. I mean, he may have brought it up, but I mean, this has been, attacks on women's reproductive rights have been happening, really increasing over the past decade. So this isn't just like one person, it's really a movement that's being, backed by the right wing, and the Democrats aren't doing anything to stop it.
We don't think we live in a democracy because, 9 Supreme Court unelected justices deciding these things for the masses of people is not a democratic institution, regardless of what we are taught in school. We know that only the struggle has won women's rights. Only people actually getting out in the masses and hitting the streets like this and pressuring the politicians, whether they call themselves progressive or not, if pressuring them to do something, because they're afraid of us. If we move out in the masses, we really have to keep building the movement. We have to keep coming out and demanding our rights. So that's the next steps. We got to keep this action going.
We're going to keep fighting for abortion to be legal. We won't go back. We're going to continue to fight back. And what's more is every single time there's an injustice, not just against women, not just against trans people, but black people, Latina women, Latina people, Latin people, sorry, I just keep getting it wrong. Asian people. Every single time there's an injustice against one of us, all of us are going to come out. We're all going to fight. And we're going to fight for a better system, for a better role, for real democracy. Personally, all of us, we're going to keep fighting for socialism, and we're going to keep bringing the masses out to do the same.
We're also not going to keep letting the Democrats use abortion rights and women's reproductive rights as a bargaining chip to try to get us to vote for them. The people are realizing what's going on, and they can't keep using that, and we're not going to let it. We're not going to let it. Just as Cynthia said, we're going to come out in the streets and we're going to fight for an entirely different system where, every other presidency we shouldn't have to keep fighting for this basic human right.
Do you think the Dems are going to codify Roe versus Wade?
I think they better. If they don't want us out in the streets again calling them out, they better.
And thank you very much for your time. One last question, red or green?
Well, I love green, but I've reached a point where I can't tolerate, my body can't tolerate it anymore.
Green's too spicy for me.
Green, of course. Green. Red all the way.
Depends on where it is, usually green.
Absolutely red.
Christmas.
Green.
Ooh, I tend more towards green, I would say. Yeah, green team.
Both.
Christmas.
I feel like that's a loaded question because it depends on the dish.
That's the real loaded question.
Best answer I've got so far.
My default is green.
It is green,
Yeah,
default. If you make caldo de res, though, I have to have red chili. It's difficult, man. You put a certain dish in front of me, my answer's gonna change.
Awesome, thank you.
Christmas, though, I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like Christmas. Hot take. I'm against Christmas. But only chili.
Already over there.
Here, I got it.
I'll take the mic.
Right, cool.
I'll take the mic.
Just in case. I can
Just go reserve the spot. Yeah.
How's my back swing?
Good. Can't even tell you're sweating.
Perfect. I need to pee real bad.
Oh, look at this angle right here, Max.
That's perfect. Oh, that's beautiful. Here, plug in so we can get their chance again. Let me know when it's in and I'll turn it on.